Hi, it's Thea. I don't really film videos like this at all, ever, period. But I thought because this was a bigger topic, instead of just posting about it, I would make a video on it. So today's video, or this video, is going to be called, What is Diabetes? Now, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I have diabetes. I have type 2 diabetes, and everyone I have told, which isn't that many people, have asked me very similar questions. So I figured it would be a good idea just to kind of make a video talking about all the questions that have been asked. So not that I don't like telling people the answers over and over and over. I just figured it'd be a bit easier this way. So first off, we're going to start off with the basics. Number one, what is diabetes? It's okay if you don't know the answer. I didn't know the answer really before. I knew it was stuff regarding eating, and I think that's about it. So when I first went to the hospital, I had to take a class on what diabetes was and how I have to take my insulin, which I'll talk about later, but they also told me what it is. Basically, what diabetes is it's when your pancreas doesn't produce enough or any insulin. Insulin is basically what helps break down sugars, blood sugars. If you're type 2 diabetic, it means that your pancreas is still producing some, but not enough. Or if you're type 1, it means your pancreas isn't producing any. But yes, I am a type 2. They think I'm a type 2. They're pretty sure. They're like 90% sure. The other 10 comes from genetics. I'm adopted. I don't know my genetics at all, so they're not 100% sure, but they're fairly confident. I'm not going to go over what happens, really. All that you need to know is that it can be very dangerous. It could, if you're not producing the right amount of insulin, other parts of your organs can start releasing toxic parts into your blood and, in short term, poison you, which is not good. We don't want that. So yeah, that is what diabetes is. I'm just going to start off with the broader terms and then I'll go to the personal terms. So the next question I get is, what is insulin? Now, I kind of said already, insulin helps break down sugars. But like, what does it look like? It's a liquid. I have my insulin pen right here, and I will show you what an insulin pen looks like. So this is what an insulin pen looks like. I'm just going to get up close and personal here. So as you can see, it has a dial right here that you can do and give your correct dosage, and then it goes in 0.5 increments. These are reusable pens, so you can reuse the pen, but you'd have to change the cartridge. So you just take this out, plop, and this is the insulin. This is a short insulin. I'll explain that in a minute. But this is what an insulin pen looks like. It was pretty intimidating at first, but I'm okay with it now. That is what the insulin pen looks like. I have 2 of them. That was the short-term pen. So the short-term pen, you take this before meals. This just is a quick acting one, so it really it lowers your blood sugar faster. This one is we call it the Lantus pen. This is a long acting insulin pen. So this one, it's the exact same, except this one you can just throw out. But it also has the dial. This goes in 1 increments, which is fine. But this is a 24-hour lasting one, so you have to give it every 24 hours. I give myself dosages of 45, so I will show you what 45 is. This is how much I give myself every day. It's quite painful at the end because you're jabbing yourself, but I'm starting to get used to it. So yes, that is what the insulin pen looks like. This is what a needle looks like. I think you all know what needles look like. I can't take one out right now because it would unsterilize them. But yeah, that is what insulin is, what the insulin pens look like. They just help give you a bit more extra insulin before meals and just in general. So the next thing I want to talk about is, what does a blood sugar tester look like? This is my blood sugar testing kit. This is also another question I get. I'm going to pair this together. But a lot of people ask me, how many times do you have to prick your finger? Which I totally get. It's like one of the most common things. If you know about diabetes, you know you have to prick your finger. For me, I'm a new diabetic. So that means they're still monitoring everything. So I have to prick my finger around 6 or 7 times a day. I usually do about 5 or 6, but I have to do it around 6 or 7 times a day. So this is what's in the kit. I will come up close and personal. So this right here is your finger poker. This is what it looks like. This is the dial. So right now it's set to 5. That is how far it will jab into you. 0.5, like a centimeter or something. This is where you put the needle. I already have a needle in there because I just did it now. So put that in there, close it. I'll show you how to do it from scratch. So this is what the needles look like when you first get them. And this is what it's called, a One Touch Dira Plus. So this is where you take it. You just take the cap when you first get it, twist it off, pull it out. You take the needle, you press it in, and then you twist towards you, and it comes off like that. You put the top on, you set your dial. Sometimes you have to do this. You have to spring load it, but then when you do, you press the button and it will prick your finger. Now I'm going to do a demo in a few minutes. I just want to show you everything else. This is the reader that comes along that reads your blood. These are the strips to put your blood on. So what I like to do, what I have to do really, is I take the horseshoe side, and I just plug it in, and it'll light up, good morning, and then it'll just say, let's test. So I have my spring-loaded needle. I'm going to take my finger. I'm going to try and make this so you can see. And I'm just going to press it against my finger. Press the button. And then squeeze. And you can see the drop of blood there. Now you always wipe away your first drop because there could be soap or food on your finger and you don't want that to interrupt your test. So you see that little line right there? That's where we're going to try and aim to get the blood at. So then it'll do this little loading sign, and it'll give you your read. Now mine is 7.9. 7.9 is very good for a person with high blood sugar. When I first went into the hospital, my blood sugar levels was 20. A normal person's blood sugar levels should be at the ranges 4 to 7. Mine was at 20. That is double and a little bit more than a normal person's blood sugar levels. It was a lot. So yeah, it was really concerning for everyone. They were so high. It was almost weird for me because I always thought, I eat so healthy. I eat a lot of fruit. I don't eat cake, and I don't like cookies. It turns out that there is sugar in literally everything. Fruit has a lot of sugar. Like if I eat a whole apple, that's my breakfast. That's all I could have for breakfast in terms of sugar wise. I will talk about that in just a second, but it's really interesting because now I'm having to get all the sugars for every food I eat. and I have to calculate how much I can have of each. So there is a sheet that the lady gave me at the hospital that says, it's a rough guesstimate, but it says like 1 cup or half a cup of rice is 15 grams of carbs. So I'm going to go through kind of my budget for carbs. So for breakfast, I'm allowed 30 carbs, which is pretty good. That's like a sandwich or like a breakfast sandwich. For lunch, I'm allowed 45, a sandwich and a little like an apple, like a small banana. And then for supper, I'm allowed 75. Now, in between all those, you can either have plus or minus 5, so it can be 25 to 35, 40 to 50, 70 to 80. So, yeah, and I'm allowed 3 15-gram snacks throughout the whole day. It's a lot to adjust to because I don't feel losing out on any food. I can still eat fast food and I can still eat the greasy stuff and I can still eat the sugary stuff. I just have to cut down on the amount of greasy and sugary stuff I have. Luckily for me, my parents did a whole lot of research and they figured out certain restaurants, like what the carbs are for certain restaurants. So we can just go on and look at them and see, oh, I can have a burger is 38, a fries is 45, and you can have a diet drink. Diet drinks are 0, which is so nice because I do like my pop and I would be very sad if they got rid of that. I've realized that before I would used to have like pasta and bread, but now those are both carbs and carbs contain the most sugar. So now I can only have pasta and not bread, or potatoes and not bread, like you have to choose which one you like more, or if you want a bit more you'll have to substitute other things, like milk. I used to drink milk every night. Now I'm not, because a whole cup is 30 grams, which is almost half of my carbs. Probably the one thing that's changed is definitely the portion sizing. I used to eat twice the amount of carbs I used to, but I always have to think ultimately this is for the better, I wasn't necessarily gaining weight as well. They say people with diabetes tend to lose weight because their body is trying so hard to burn the sugars in food that they actually start to lose weight. So I think I've lost weight. I've definitely gotten rid of some of the chub. Some of the chub. But yeah, I just thought, when this started happening, I just thought, oh, finally, I'm almost 18. I'm finally starting to lose my baby fat. Like, yay. But no, it turns out I was just a bit sick, which is weird because the people in the hospital said, you don't look sick at all. Like, people with diabetes sometimes come in looking awful. But luckily, I caught it quick enough that I looked fine. I looked the way I did now, which is a month after finding out. What first brought me to the hospital, though, was I had these awful arm bumps. They were somewhere like this big on my arm, and they were sore sometimes and just really ugly to look at. And at first we thought it was pimples, and then we thought, oh, it must be like a virus. You must have picked it up somewhere. But this was during the middle of COVID, so I'm like, no. So we decided to go to the doctor. And he automatically knew something's not right. So I had to get blood work done. And after that, they came to the decision that it was high cholesterol. My cholesterol was like 170 when it should be like... No, I think it was astonishingly high. Some of the symptoms that they say are in diabetes is that you eat more, which I wasn't gaining any weight. I noticed that. You drink more, which I was, and you pee more, which I was. When I realized it all, it was checking all the boxes, and it was kind of like wait, how long have I had this? Because I had been drinking and eating a lot more for a year and a half, and it really kind of got brought up again with COVID because I'm not going anywhere. I'm just sitting at home. The doctor Thursday, got blood work done Friday, went back to the doctor on Monday, and was admitted to the hospital Wednesday I went to the doctor Monday and Tuesday, and then was admitted to the hospital on Wednesday evening and stayed until Friday. So it was 2 nights, 2.5 days. I was very lucky to get into the program I was. I'm 17, so that means I had to go to the peds unit. They say you were very lucky to be at this age to get it. If you were 18, you would go to the actual hospital. They say it could take almost a year for a doctor to come and see you. And so, you're very lucky. Like, I was treated almost immediately when going to the hospital. It was amazing. Like, yeah, they said if you would have gone to the adult section, no one would have looked at you the same. They would have just gave you the pen and the tester and said go for it. You wouldn't get the instruction that they gave me. They wouldn't give you anything. You just have to fend on your own, and I don't think I could do that. Like, nothing. I'd probably do it wrong. It was just a bit overwhelming at the time. I'm okay with it now, but it was like I turned 18 in like 6 months. If I had gotten this and realized it 6 months ago, I would have been in a completely different place right now. That's where I think God came into it, which was so cool to kind of watch. Like, he wanted this to be brought up. He also inflicted it upon me, but I think that's everything for this little information. It's 20 minutes long. I'm sorry. I just thought it would be helpful for people. If you have any questions that you'd like me to answer, feel free to ask, comment. I just want people to be more aware, because it was really hard during Christmas, and I'm not saying this for me, I'm saying this for everyone else. During Christmas, I got a lot of chocolate, and chocolate contains a lot of sugar. And that's kind of the one thing I have to be watching. So I had to give a lot of my chocolate away because I couldn't be in the same room with it. I would eat it. So yeah, I hope you liked it.